Morning all, how are we doing? Ooh, sorry I'm late. Only 2 minutes, but how are you all doing? Morning everybody. Christian, Amy, Peter, JC, Yoko, Virginia, Gregors, Novelty, Rhodey. There's a new name. Morning. So we've had a bit of news this morning on the pound GDP, 0.3 on a 0.2 forecast. Economy doing well in the UK. So ever such a slight increase, but it is an increase. No real reaction on the pound so far. Today we've had, it's actually pushed it down a little bit on the news. No news basically. Not any impact at all. So there you go. Yesterday's CPI figure obviously came out as expected. So we had a little bit of volatility off of the US yesterday. Nothing happening basically here. This is all the month-on-month overall CPI went up. The CPI year-on-year bounced, but this is what was forecast to happen anyway. So no real indication as to any direction on the US either off of yesterday's news. So if you look at things like the US dollar CAD, big whipsaw up, return to origin. US dollar Swiss, big move up, return. Euro US dollar, big move down, return. So no news. So just basically an ADR hit and a return to origin. So nothing happened. So again, we're stuck. The markets are just not moving at the moment. We are flat. So PPI this afternoon, which is the producer price index, which is the commercial version of consumer price index. So it's basically business inflation, if you like. 1:30 this afternoon. Again, probably get a whipsaw off of it. We'll probably get a rally, good ADR reversal opportunities. If you get any RSI extensions, good opportunities to get out. I had 2 trades on yesterday's move. So we had the ADR extensions yesterday on the Aussie dollar, US dollar. So these are yesterday's trades. So Aussie US. Reverse alert was there, out on that one this morning, so I played it back to origin basically. So bank 0.63 this morning on that. Aussie US and US dollar CAD was the other one. So there was your ADR extension, reversal alert, in, out, done. So nice moves yesterday. The other 2 positions on the ADR reversal strategy at the moment are in profit. Aussie dollar yen. So that one, I'm looking for a push back down. They've got this propulsion gap is quite possibly going to act as a support on the way down. If that doesn't act as support, I'm looking for this propulsion gap and these highs to get retested on top of that propulsion gap, basically, which is what the break is. That's within ADR. So I'm going in between the 2 for a target perspective, just because it gives me a decent amount of money. But that there is $80, which is about 0.25%. So that is still actually a decent return on an ADR reversal. ADR reversal, if you can put 0.25% to 1/3% out of an ADR reversal, don't forget these are scalp strategies. That's good. So that is a valid target. In fact, as I've banked, I might as well target that. So I'll go for that propulsion gap just because I've already banked today. It'd be nice to go into the weekend flat, wouldn't it? Pound yen. That's the other ADR reversal I've got on. Short on that one from the ADR extension on Wednesday. That didn't go anywhere yesterday. I don't know. Propulsion down there. ADR hit to the downside. Go for that small propulsion gap out of the accumulation there. So that was where the move kicked off. So looking for that to be supportive. H1M5 mean reversion. I can't get anything. I can't bank anything because nothing is moving at the moment. Everything is going sideways. There's a lot of profit on the table to take. So I could bank somewhere in the region of 0.5% right now, plus. But I just don't really think there's much point in doing that at the moment. I might bank some today. I'm going to see what happens with the yen this morning. At the moment, the yen this morning looks okay. It looks like it's strengthening a little bit. So these yens, I've got a couple of yens, Aussie dollar yen and euro yen, both in profit. If we can get a little bit more of a push on the yen down today, so if we can do another half ADR or something, I might close those two out and just bank those, because that'd be a third of a percent, 0.5% maybe, depends how far it moves. And then I've got a little bit more on the pound yen that I can bank as well, and the US dollar yen. So I'm just going to watch the yens this morning and see if we can get a rally off of these. But so far this morning, they're looking okay. They're holding up. We obviously had that move yesterday. US dollar weakness will tend to give the yen a little bit of strength. So as you can see yesterday, that wasn't a move. It wasn't positive, and it wasn't really negative US. So I'm just wondering if they might drop the US a little bit on the PPI figures. We need to see what they come out as. But if we get negative figures today, if they come out as expected or slightly negative, we might get a rally on the yen. So just going to play it by ear today. H1 hedging. It's taken 6 positions. We've had 6 reversal alerts on the hourly. None of them have gone anywhere yet. So just sitting waiting on those. NASDAQ, DAX, all the US indices yesterday. Good afternoon yesterday. Banked 2.2%, up 5.5% on the month so far. So all 3 of these yesterday got hedged, every single one. Market's about to open. How long we got? 30 seconds. Quickly cover these. So hedged, down, out. Hedged, down, out. Hedged, down, out. Tick, tick, tick. All done. Nice day. There we go. There's your US indices. We'll cover those this afternoon. Right. Have a look at these. So yesterday, I didn't manage to bank anything. Had a flat day yesterday because I cocked up the day before. Well, I didn't cock up. My terminal froze when I didn't notice it. This is part of the problem with running multiple accounts and multiple strategies. You've really got to keep on the ball. I'm now running 5 accounts, all with different strategies. And I just didn't look at this. I didn't even notice what was going on. So obviously by that issue with trades holding overnight, which I don't normally have. So I just got out with a flat line yesterday. But as you can see yesterday, the market's totally melted, absolutely melted. So we had 175 ADR, I think it was yesterday, on the FTSE, 121, 70, 140. Yes, about 175 ADR. Yesterday, DAX put in on a 200, it put in 300, so 150. So 150, 175 ADR moves yesterday, huge moves. We had the US and the UK bombing the Houthi rebels yesterday. So I'm wondering if whenever we get any escalation in any conflict anywhere, the stock market collapses, basically. So I'm wondering if this could be related to that. I don't know, but it's a big, 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 big drop. And there wasn't any catalyst for it. So tricky one to really forecast as to why it happened, but it happened. So today I'd be looking for a pullback on this move, although it's already pulled back a fair bit. Towards the end of yesterday, we did a 38 retracement yesterday on the initial move anyway. Not so much on that, we've just flagged. So we've kind of done a retracement at the moment today on the FTSE. But as you can see by the FTSE, there was no bull candle yesterday. So there's no propulsion target really to aim for because there's no accumulation. So it's not really easy to pick any upside targets on this today. You're not going to get back up there. That's for sure. I don't know. PPI figures might come out and drive the market nuts. But today I'd be looking at the previous day's low, which is within ADR as a target to the upside. And that happens to be first TP today off the FTSE pre-market range. And DAX is very hard to pick anything. I mean, it's somewhere in there. It's going to pause if it does go long. It's very hard to pick anything today on the DAX. So all we've done really, if you look at it on the grand scheme of things yesterday, is we've continued the drop on the FTSE, and we've just traded back inside the potential range on the DAX. So there's still no real directional bias. We're obviously bearish at the moment on the FTSE, but that yesterday's breakout of that low was obviously fairly substantial. So I would be looking for a retest of that area or that area today if we break long. So once we get to ADR today, probably a good short area. But so far, no volume. Pretty dead. One sec. Morning, everybody. I haven't said a morning to. Morning, Wesson. I want to make 1% gain on a 100K account. Can we do it live? Yeah. Long the DAX with 1% risk on that range. Let's see if we can do it. Morning, Mumo. Astro. John. Kennedy. Bank holiday in the USA on Monday. Is it? So it is. So there'll be no US session Monday afternoon. Monday's going to be dead anyway. There's no news either. Dead next week. Next week's a bit funny for news. Claimant count doesn't do an awful lot. We got the CPI for the CAD on Tuesday. Got the CPI for the UK on Wednesday, and retail for the US. Unemployment for Aussie and the US. Retail for the pound and Michigan. So yeah, news every day next week apart from Monday. So nicely spread out next week. So we've got good catalysts all week next week, but nothing massively exciting, is there, next week? Okay, so initial cash balance is bullish on both. So if you're taking the 5-minute ORB, you are, depending if you've got an offset there or there, you are either long or you're about to go long by those things. So upside target, let's see, we need to be aware of this area here, which is not far away. So basically that black line there, which is last week's low, which we're just coming up to on the FTSE here, which is 1 and a bit R. So we need to watch that for potential resistance. Failing that, we're coming up to the previous day's low, which is there. So these are your two potential limit order triggers to the upside. Resistance. And TP1 for me is just above that second level. So just going to watch price when we get here. If we get a definitive bounce off of one of these levels, I might shut the FTSE. DAX, we're at the pre-market highs. I have no idea where that's going if it goes up. Literally, there's nothing you can... previous day's high, which is all the way up there, which is nearly 5R, is a level. But, I mean, other than that, it's impossible to pick any level on the DAX. So, see where it goes. While we're waiting for that candle to close, we'll have a look at what we've got going on with the other FX markets today. So ADRs, nothing. We've got no ADRs to look at. There's no weekly ranges hit this week. This tells the story of the week, doesn't it? Flat as a pancake. We haven't had one instrument, one FX pair hit its weekly range. It's dead. The market is dead. No ADRs. We are halfway through the month. We haven't had any monthly ranges hit. Nothing is flat. Dashboards, white. RSI, white. Nothing. Nothing's moved. No RSI extensions. There we go. FX analysis complete. Nothing's moving. So, yeah, if you've got any pairs you want to look at, let me know. But I'm probably going to say it's going sideways. But if there is anything you want to look at, let me know. It's going sideways, but let me know and I'll have a look at it. Sideways. 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 sideways, up and downy sideways, sideways, ever such a slight up tint. That's moved. Euro's actually up against the Swissy. Sideways, sideways, a little bit up and sideways, but sideways. Up. Pound CAD. Should have got long on it. There's nothing happening. There's nothing to look at. What should we do? Anyone who gave me Yahtzee? Scrabble? Got into Scrabble recently. Sideways. Right. 1R on the DAX and the FTSE. We're off on the indices. Morning, Neo. Morning, Evans, if I didn't say morning, Evans. Literally, I've got nothing to talk about this morning. So as soon as I hit TP1 on these two, I'm finished for the morning. Going to go and do something else. ADR reversals obviously have all played out. I've covered those. Hedging's not moving because it's going sideways. There you go. I can't really literally have nothing to talk about. You can't talk about stuff that isn't moving. Bitcoin, haven't got it. Apparently it's rallying. I don't know. Got it. I'm not looking at it. I don't trade it. I'm also not looking at gold, and I'm also not looking at oil. What we're looking at, FTSE and the DAX at the moment, because there's no point in looking at FX because it's just going sideways. Literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, including today, 8 days sideways. So if you want to trade anything today, if it hits ADR, short it. If it hits ADR, long it. If it hits RSI, short it. If it hits RSI, long it. Doesn't matter what you do. If it goes up or down, do it. What we're looking at, short liquidity grab on what? FTSE's approaching TP1. DAX has just tapped into that previous weekly high, which is, I think that's a 2-week high. 2-week low, sorry. Yes, 2-week low. Just tapped into there. That's this level that we hit 3 days ago and bounced from. Just curious, which pair gave the biggest squeeze last year? That was the pound US dollar. What percentage drawdown? I don't know. What I got in percentage drawdown is irrelevant, isn't it? Because you're not going to get the same. So it was a squeeze. I don't know what the percentage was, but it was big. Well, it wasn't. It was. I honestly can't remember. Can anybody remember? When was it? When was the pound US dollar squeeze? September. So if we look at October, no. There you go. September, I was in 5.42 on pound US. That was the end of September. So end of September, I had 9 positions on 5.42% in drawdown. That was me. AZ, there you go. He got about 5 to 6. So yeah, about 5%, 6%, something like that. That was the biggest squeezer last year. That was a losing month, September, because I did a lot of drawdown control on that. But this is the thing, you know, you can't say what was the drawdown. The drawdown was the drawdown that you achieved depending on the drawdown control that you achieved. Yeah. So that was 5.42%, and I'd done 8% loss. There was a lot of oil loss in there as well. So I don't know what, if you'd have set the EA up with no drawdown control and left it running, I couldn't tell you what the drawdown would have been, because that's not how you trade. You do drawdown control. I don't know what it would have been, but that was the squeeze, the pound US. That was the biggest squeeze last year. So the move started there. And you got squeezed basically from somewhere around July to September. July, August, September. Yeah, it's 3 months, wasn't it? It's 3 month squeeze. And then we got out. I got out there. So FTSE tapping into 2R. So we are tapping into the previous day's low right now here. So we need to watch this area and see if we get limited triggers. Doesn't look like we are, but I am going to get ready just to close that out. If we don't get through that previous day's low and we start to reject it, I'll jump ship. DAX is struggling to get through that 2 week low as well. So we might find a bit of a pullback starting here. We'll see. Not particularly aggressive this morning, is it? It's just ambling along, but nicely in the right direction, which is good. Dow Jones. Don't look at the Dow Jones in the morning. This is the UK session, not the US session. Look at the Dow in the US session. Dow Jones doesn't move in the morning. It's all Globex. It's all algorithmic. Wait until 2:30. Seem to have gone just pause mode basically on the FTSE, haven't we? We're stuck. Okay, I'm dumping the first half of the FTSE. About a quarter of an ADR, a quarter of an R, roughly, short of target. So break even second half, we'll see. But that's, I mean, there's not a lot of volume going in here, is there? But we are struggling. Now we're going through. Look, DAX is trying to break through that weekly. We'll probably get a rally through there now. Okay. So, yeah. TP1 done on FTSE. TP2 at the moment for me is 150 ADR, which is unrealistic. So I'm going to drop TP2 down within 125 ADR again. This is going to be tough to get, but that's where I'm going to target that propulsion gap. Yeah, so this is where the move started yesterday, which was at 11 o'clock, wasn't it, yesterday? Yeah, so we had that period where we just went like that, didn't we? And then all of a sudden it went, and it all kicked off. So we'll target that move. So if the sellers that started this move are still in the market, we should see them add back into that position. We're going to need this propulsion to hold up, obviously, for the downside as well on the DAX and the FTSE. 2R hit on the DAX. I'm going to close that as well. So trailing both. So both clean breaks this morning. Done and dusted. You had worse on oil then, didn't you? Yeah. So that September, the reason that was a loss in September was because I was playing with oil. This is what I said yesterday or the day before. One day this week, I can't remember. I've said a lot this week. Been rabbiting this week, haven't I? This is why you keep your accounts segregated. This is not a fair representation of the H1M5 mean reversion strategy because I started trading oil in this account and it screwed it. So if I hadn't have put oil into this account and I had a separate account for commodities, which I was just mucking about commodities on, this P&L would look different. But I took quite a big hit on that. I think it was 9%, wasn't it, on oil? I can't quite remember. It's all a bit of a blur. It's a long time ago last year. But yeah. But then again, saying that, the previous month in August, I had a decent return off of oil. It gave some good moves, didn't it? So oil was actually in there as well. There's a bit of profit in there. Or was it the month before? July. I think it was a big month. Oh, it's July. Yeah, so it was this month. It was the 24% month because we had a really good run on oil. Where we had that period where oil was just doing that. And it was just literally every H1 mean reversion just went, thank you very much. And we just banked. And then oil went down here, we longed it and it went, nope, bang, 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 bang. And we dropped dramatically, didn't we? Back down to 85 a barrel, where we were looking for an upside target. That's where all that loss came in. And it basically cancelled out pretty much everything they made on oil. So, yeah, it's not really a fair representation. Which is why I'm not trading the bloody thing. Maybe you have an idea why the mechanics of SIH do not work for me when I manually adjust the TP. I moved TP1 a little bit lower and it hit it. Nope. No, I mean, you see me do it every day. Adjusting TPs is just nothing to do. The EA has got nothing to do with this. The EA doesn't do anything. It won't close a position out because you move an order. It's not the EA doing that. There's no logic in the EA that says if an order moves, close anything. I have no line of code that does anything remotely to that. It's nothing to do with the EA. Don't know what that is. But TP2, speaking of moving TPs, on the DAX, very hard to pick a level on this DAX today. I think I'm going to pick 4R today. 5R, that is the actual TP2, 5R on the range. But we've got this high here where we gapped above. We came back and retested that level here. So I'm going to stick my TP2 at 4R and assume that this propulsion gap holds and we go into a trend, which is what TP2 is for. It's a trend, it's a runner. And see if we can hit that to the upside. And the FTSE is off today. So again, we're approaching ADR already on the FTSE. So this move so far today is big. Obviously, the ADR that I've got might be different to yours because I've got pre-market data in, but ADR is ADR. That's a definite sell area, isn't it? Look at it. So I might move down to 3R and just take the profit. I kind of want to bank on the European indices because I've had a bit of a bad month with them. I'm up 4% on them, but they've been a real struggle this month so far. So I'm kind of keen just to try and get this account built up a little bit and get a bit of room in here. So I'm just going to be a little bit conservative this morning. I think with these, because we've had quite a few hedges on these. So I'd like to just try and bank if I can, but we'll see where they go. So there you go, done today, aren't we? So I moved TP1 a little bit low and hit TP. Yeah, I don't know what that is. There seems to be a lot of people having problems with MT5 at the moment. I don't use it. I don't know when it was last updated. I've gone through the docs on MT5, the update docs yesterday, developer docs. There's nothing changed that affects any logic in any of my products, because they are renowned for crap communication, and they are renowned for introducing bugs, and they are renowned for changing things and going, oh, did we not tell you? And you have to reprogram things. There's nothing that has changed since I released my products 2 years ago within logic in MT5. People seem to be having all sorts of problems with it, though. Varying products, varying problems. I can't do anything about it because I can't replicate the problems, and I can't fix the problems if I can't replicate them. And there's no documentation to say anything's changed. So all I can say is it's got to be bugs. If you're using MT5 and you're having problems, you've got bugs. Amy is using MT5 fine with the SIH EA, and yet someone else will be sitting there on MT5 saying the SIH doesn't trade. You've got 1,000 variables in there. You've got your broker, your leverage, you've got your spread, your execution time, whether your VPS has a good connection or not at the time. There's so many moving parts when you're using automation. It's not the EAs. It's something in the automation chain that you've got that is a problem, and I don't know what it is. I had somebody sent me their set file saying that their EA on market reverse alerts is taking trades completely randomly. I put his set file on 6 pairs yesterday, let it trade, didn't do anything wrong. It did exactly what it's meant to do. I can't replicate the problem. So there's things we can tick off the list. Global variables. This is something people don't know about. Let me open that MT5. This is something that MetaTrader uses that quite a lot of people don't know about, and there's no reason why you should. And it's an important thing, especially with the market reversal alerts EA. The reason being is the market reversal alerts EA. It uses what are called global variables. So if you go to Tools and Global Variables or hit F3 on your keyboard, it will open this Global Variables window. Yeah, there's 2 types of variables. And a variable is basically just us storing information. So there is a normal variable, which basically when you shut the chart or shut your terminal, that variable vanishes. There are global variables. And as you can see, these are all here. This terminal has just been opened. So when you close your terminal or close your chart, these don't go anywhere. They stay there. Reason for this is the market reversal alerts EA needs to store levels that trades were taken at and lot sizes that trades were taken at. Yeah. So these are stored in here. If you shut a chart down, and these are all by magic number, yeah? 112, 112, 142, 142, 152, 152, 162, etc., etc. So these are all stored. If you shut this chart down, which is using magic number 154, for example, and then you open up a new chart and you put the EA on again, and you use a different setting, and you use the same magic number, 154 or 152, whatever it is, yeah, it will go, I am number 152. The last trade I took was, no, it wasn't. This has to be cleared. So what you do is you basically just click one, Control A, delete, remove all the global variables. So this is something that people don't know about. And this is what I think is one of the problems with MT5. MT5 is crap at clearing these. I have logic in the EA that says if you de-init, remove them. I don't think that's working. The logic's fine, but I don't think it's actually working, i.e. the software's not doing what it should do. So there's things like this so you can look at. So if you're using MT5, make sure there's no global variables in there, this sort of stuff. So, you know, and you can see the magic numbers are here at the beginning of all of these. Yeah, this is magic number 56, 34, 2143, 78, 910. Yeah. This is the last partial close that was done. Yeah, all this information makes the EA do stuff. It looks it up and goes, have I done a partial close? Yes. Okay, then I won't do one. If that says it's done hasn't done a partial close, and you put the EA on there fresh, it will go, I need to do a partial close. So as soon as it takes an order, it goes, I need to shut after that. All this sort of stuff that happens because these things are stupid. It's a dumb bot. Yeah, it does what it's told, but it does what it's told based on bugs with MT5. MT4, I said it the other day, nobody has ever contacted me with a problem with MT4, ever. I've been developing things for 3 years. No one's ever got in touch and said, doesn't work. MT5, every day, someone's going, it did this, it did that, it did this. No, it didn't. Something else did. I don't know what it is because I can't make it do it. I think it's VPSs. I think the part of the problem is processing power. When you open a VPS, like look at my VPS that I've got running at the moment. Yeah. This is a dedicated VPS with a lot of processing power running 3 terminals with 28 pairs on each terminal. Yeah. There's a lot of processing power. 28 charts all triggering at the same time every 5 minutes, doing tens of thousands of calculations across 28 pairs at the same time. If you haven't got a good VPS, it's going to fall over and it's not going to do what it meant to do. So there's that as well. So just bear all of this in mind when you have problems. If you test locally on your machine with one MT4 terminal and you can't make it break, you know you've got processing power problems. There's a lot of stuff going on, isn't there, really, when you think about it? And there's your broker as well. Your broker screws you up lots as well. Look at yesterday. They closed one of my positions out 10 pips above where price ever traded to. I don't know. It's all a bit weird. Oil is looking good this morning. Major resistance. Short it then, Shipcat. I'm not looking at it because I don't trade it. If I see it, I want to trade it, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not being led. Out of both now for 2.23%. Happy with the way the markets are moving. Good job. FTSE coming down fairly hard off those highs. DAX painting an inside bar at the moment. FTSE seems to be reversing just shy of ADR. So this is that level that this is why I got out here. This is this previous day's low, which is this area here. Yeah. So support, 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 break, resistance. Support turns into resistance. I might close the FTSE. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to close it. I'm just going to pull my stop up and lock in 1 and a bit R. Just going to lock in a bit more profit. Let the DAX run because the DAX doesn't seem to have any problems because the DAX has a resistance at the moment. So don't forget the DAX, look. Yeah, these don't move the same, these two. Not like the US session. We have the US where we have the FTSE and the NASDAQ and the S&P moving together. These two are independent. They do not work the same way. Different numbers of stocks, different sectors, all sorts of stuff affects these differently. Without drawdown control, would it have gotten more than 10%? I've no idea. I can't answer that question, Evans. You're asking me to... Oh, I just can't answer that question. I don't know. Would I have? Possibly. Would you have? I've no idea. Would somebody else that's doing this have? I've no idea. Everybody's different. No one's going to get the same results. Everybody's going to do things differently. Can't answer the question. If you want to know the answer to that, Evans, you can find it out yourself very easily. Put the market reversal alert, say EA, on the pound US dollar using the set file that you would use. Yeah, start it in July and let it run through to September. See what your drawdown would have been. Yeah, just go and do it. Do the test yourself. Very easy to do. Market reversal alerts. M5. So I'm going to run this on 0.25% risk. At that time, I was running 0.1, I think. RSI, higher time frame, 21.75.25. Not going to close in profits. I'm going to scale in at 0.75, which is what I was using. No drawdown control. Control points. Let's start in June. Go through to October. This might turn into a long stream. I think this might run too slow, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, that's going to take forever. I don't. Yeah, I can't. If I do it in non-visual mode, we're not going to see any information about drawdown or anything. So, not going to help. Because you need a target. Because it will go basically into drawdown, and then it could go massively into profit. But we haven't set any targets because I don't use it that way. But I think that was when did it start? See, it's difficult to tell when you would have actually gone into it. That's 160 pips. So you would have been out of that one. I think the first entry that started it off, it was 3 months, wasn't it? So got out in October. August. Must have been somewhere around here. I'm looking at the 4 hour. Yeah, it was the hourly we got into it on, wasn't it? So somewhere around there. So somewhere around August. If you started at the beginning of August, I've started June. That's way too early, isn't it? Wait. That's the test. You really need to see it visual. You need to watch it. And on the market reverse alerts EA, you also need to turn on the P&L because it's not showing P&L in there. So if you're going to test this, you want to run with display total profit on and running current drawdown and profit you want. That's the one you want, not profit. So you want to run it showing current drawdown and profit. And that will give you a visual of, there you go, drawdown percent. So that will show you the open drawdown as the trade is playing out. So you'll be able to visually see what your drawdown is. You're obviously looking at this for prop because you're talking about 10%. This is just one instrument. So what you're kind of saying is, if I just traded one instrument, would I have gone into 10% drawdown? Possibly, possibly not. But in 3 months on one instrument, how the hell are you ever going to hit target? You're not. It's not going to happen. Not going to take a trade now, are we? I'll let that run for a bit. Let's quickly look at what the indices are up to. There we go. RSI's 25.9. Missed it. Didn't quite get extension. DAX still running. FTSE's stalled out completely, look, for the last 25 minutes. So we're stuck on the FTSE, but the DAX is still making new higher highs. We've got an outside bar gone in there, bullish outside bar. So this is looking good for the DAX. FTSE, however, is struggling a bit. What is the take profit for the DAX? I've already covered that, haven't I? Morning, Themba. Did the DAX give a clean break? Yes. Everything's clean break today. Well, I say everything, both. So pre-market, for me, it was a pre-market 10 on the DAX. Well, the pre-market 10, 15, 20 were all the same. So it doesn't matter what you took. If you took the pre-market 15 or whatever you took, the break was the same. It never went anywhere near the short order. Straight up. Same with the FTSE. I took the pre-market 5. If you're taking pre-market 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, whatever, anything pre-market beyond 5 minutes, the short never got triggered anywhere near. So lovely clean breaks this morning. I'm just locking in more profit on the DAX. I'm just wary of these things at the moment. We're very choppy on the indices at the minute. We either seem to be very choppy on them or ballistic. If we're ballistic, a tight stop loss isn't going to get hit, is it? If we break that low, that's not ballistic. So I'm going to get out with 1 3/4 R on the second half of that. If it's going to go chop, then I want out with as much profit as possible this morning. FTSE looks like it's going to stop out. And taking a trade yet. Look, we haven't had any RSI extensions. It's like this month. Then all of a sudden it goes collapse. Which trailer do you use on the SIH? I use 2 and 2, which I think is default. So the idea of using 2 and 2 is this TP1 is set at 2 R. So the idea is when you hit TP1, you immediately start to trail. So if you get one of those parabolic opens where it hits target, yeah, and we fly up to 3R, flag and rally, one of those big, strong moves, we're trailing at the first target. So we trail that distance. But the reason I use it, 2 and 2, isn't for any other reason than it gives me time to do stuff like this. So my break even is there. I don't want to trail too tight too quick. I want to let the market unfold, analyze it, watch it, see what's going on. A 2R trailer gives me all that distance to think about, look, where are we going? What's resistance? What's support? What's price action doing? So out the DAX, out the FTSE, flat, 300. I've reduced risk on these this morning, by the way, as well. So I'm now trading 0.3s instead of 0.5s because I got very, very, very close to margin call yesterday. Too close. Because we had double hedges and double aggressive exits, which went into drawdown. So I've had to reduce risk to 0.3. So making a bit less money, but not going to get margin called. If you get margin called, you're going to lose big style. So I've reduced risk. There we go. Done on the FTSE and the DAX. Both trades hit today. Just post that in the Telegram group. Can't type. Let me get my little train. Send the money train. Okay, they're done. So we'll come back and look at the US market this afternoon. This isn't going to take a trade now, is it? Look. That will give us one. 23rd of August. That'll start to scale in. But do this experiment yourself, because obviously this is going to take a long time. We're coming up to the 23rd of August, so we will push down and then we will start to get into some longs. And then it will go into drawdown. So you can measure it. Go and measure it and see. I can't sit here and watch this because it's just going to do that for ages. It's a shame you can't get open drawdown out of the tester. The only way to test open drawdown is literally to do it visually. Nothing you can do. Are you any yen pairs? Yeah. So yen at the moment, I've got 4 exposures long on the yen. Off of H1M5 mean reversion. I've got 2 yens on ADR reversals, and I've got 2 yens on Hedge at the minute as well. Yeah. I am in yen. I'm short everything though, which is the way I want to be. I don't really want to be long. Long XXX yen. I want to be long the yen, i.e. short everything against the yen. Because that interest rate rise is coming. So when it comes, we will make money. But at the minute, we're stuck. So I might, as I said this morning, if you weren't here this morning, Lee, if we get a push down on the yen today, we could possibly come back down and retest today. I'll get out the euro yen and the Aussie yen probably today and just bank this, which will be 0.25% to 0.5%. where's my profit gone? Was everything 1970? Saying I never have a problem with MT4. There we go. That was weird. That reset. Did you see my terminal flash a minute ago? I thought it was me. My terminal, suddenly everything went blank on it. Did you see that? So yeah, so the reason I'm looking to bank these basically is because I haven't really got much bank this month so far because nothing's moving. You know, this is the problem with mean reversion. If the market just does that, you know, you can't mean revert something that isn't moving. A mean reversion is a pullback on a move. There is no move. So everything we're getting into is just sideways. So I'm just looking for opportunities basically at the moment. I should be on, at the end of this week, I should be on 5% on target, and I'm not because there hasn't been any movement. So I'm just keen to get stuff down here to get this, get it moving, get the month moving, but struggle at the minute. So this account was only started this week. So was this one. So 2 days ago, actually. So yeah, I am in yens. How'd you get these red and green filled areas on the pound 4-hour chart? These are moving averages. On the website, there's a other indicators and template link. And the moving average in color and moving average filled indicators are on there. If you download that zip file, it's got my a template in, which automatically puts those on your chart. So all these is the 72 and 24 moving average from the daily represented on the 4-hour. And if we're above, we're green. If we're below, we're red. Just a visual, a really quick visual tool. It just helps you see trends better. These are the institutional moving averages. So these are the quarterly and monthly moving averages, which are the institutional reporting periods, which is why we use the 72-24 moving averages. For overall, this is kind of like your COT bias, COT direction. If you're using trend, I mean, I don't use trend, but if you're in a trend, you know you're going to pull back to the 24.72 zone in a trend. So when markets trend, when they pull back by X%, they will pull back into an average price, which is usually the 24 in a strong trend. 72 is your backup. If you hit the 72, you usually get a bounce. And then either you get your market structure break or you get your continuation. That's why we use those. Just show you the pullbacks. But I mean, nothing's trending at the moment, is it? So not a lot to look at really from a trend perspective. But yeah, putting back into the 24. If you're going to continue your trend, these are good areas to sell. Right, that's all I've got today. There's nothing else to look at because nothing's moving. We're out of all the indices, all done and dusted this morning. So news-wise today, we need to be aware of PPI at 130. That's the last news of the week, which could or could not move that US dollar. The fact that CPI did nothing yesterday, I would suspect probably PPI is going to do just the same. So I don't expect any massive movement today. So as usual, if we do get any ADR hits, good opportunities. If you get anything extends on RSI, get in. But as you can see, there's nothing really going anywhere. Hey, look, we got a spammer. Dennis Munini is spamming the group. Bye-bye, Dennis. Report. Unwanted commercial content or spam. Goodbye, Dennis. Sell the pound yen. 3 TP targets. Guarantee if you go into that man's Telegram group, and he will have a Telegram group, he will have posted that in his Telegram group. And by the time that trade plays out, you will see a little bit in the bottom right-hand corner that says edited, because they adjust their entry prices, targets, and stop losses depending on how the market moves. Therefore, every trade is a winner. Good one, Dennis. Been around too long. Right, I'll be back this afternoon, 2:20, same time for the US session. We'll see what the volatility's been like off of PPI. If we've had any massive ADR runs or anything on the indices, might give them a miss this afternoon. It is Friday afternoon, which is typically either lunatic or nothing. So it's always a tricky one, Friday afternoons. But I'll be back this afternoon. We'll have a look at how the market's unfolded this morning, see if anything's moved, see if there's any opportunities. Anything I bank, I will post in Telegram. So I'll be monitoring, obviously, what all the trades are doing. See if anything gets anywhere. If it does, I'll bank it and I'll post it in Telegram. Other than that, it's a case of just sitting here and waiting for something to happen, really. So good morning. All made money. So that's all good. All right. Have a good morning. I'll be back 2:20 this afternoon. If not, I'll be back Monday, same time, 7:50 for the Frankfurt session. Anything you need, come in Telegram. Have a good one.